y'all, what's up? Chad Wright coming at you here once again on the channel, Team Righteous. And today we got another Gen 1 ZX14 here on the dyno.
Just like Logan, we call this one here a little ugly. So yeah, it's got a full Brock's handle exhaust on it. Stock Gen 1, 2007 model.
We've already made the base run on it, and it's got a Power Commander 3 in it. It's already been tuned through it before. Somebody had put a map in it anyways, and tuned when we come in, way off. I'll show that to y'all here after a while. But anyways, about to jump on this thing right here, see how much power we can get out of it once we get the tune in it. So we got our first flashes there. Gonna see if we get this area pretty close with where it's at, or see if it's gonna need anything else. I'll let y'all hear this handle here. This thing here sounds good. Adjustments in there. See, now let's get out of this thing. Alright y'all, so we're back here with the results of the dyno numbers here on the ZX14. And yes, I have on a different shirt. So this is actually the next day. I had to go pick up my daughter from school yesterday. It was her first day of school, and so I didn't get a chance to finish up this portion of the video. So anyways, I'm going to show you all the results of where we started at, and then I'm going to show you the results of what we ended up with. So starting off, we made 172.5 horsepower at 10,000 RPMs. So yeah, in here, let's see here, you're going to see 172.5 horsepower that we made, and peak torque at the time was 105 foot-pounds of torque. So pretty good, generally, for a 06, 07 ZX14. They actually made some changes in 08, from the 08 through 11 models. So it's a little bit different results that you'll get from some of those. Not so sure like how much difference there is. Literally only dynoed 2. So we dynoed in 07, which is this one right here is, and then we dynoed a 2010 model, I believe it was. So anyways, but there is some differences in the ECU, and a little bit of differences they made to the bike. So anyways, like I said, we started off 105 foot-pounds of torque, 172.5 horsepower, and then we ended up with 179 horsepower. So we made 179 horsepower, 6.5 horsepower gains, but we got the air fuel ratio cleaned up on it a whole lot. So a minute ago it was like really high here, and then it just dropped, and it kept dropping all the way across as you went down. Now we got a nice smooth air fuel ratio going across through here. And look at the torque we gained though. We ended up getting up to 112 foot-pounds of torque. So we gained we actually gained more torque than we did horsepower, and that is very, very rare for, you know, for any motorcycle that we ever see. generally whenever you pick up torque, we generally see gains in the like with torque being half of what horsepower. So if we gain say 8 horsepower, we'll generally gain right around 4 to 5 foot-pounds of torque. So to see 7.2 foot-pounds of torque gained and only 6.5 horsepower or whatever, that's going to be a whole lot of noticeability whenever he gets at that point. And with these bikes here, generally you're not launching near as high in RPMs like you are 1000. So 1000, most people launch say 8 or 9,000 RPMs, where this bike right here you might be launching at 5. So if you're leaving at 5,000 RPMs, you're going to run through that portion of the RPMs as you're climbing up to the top of first gear before you shift into second and then stay up in that top upper range. So that's, like I said, it's really going to be a super noticeable difference. It's going to feel like it's picked up 12 to 14 horsepower or whatever, even though on the dyno we only picked up 6.5. And then another thing too, some of the results that we had too, this is a brand new Shinko hookup. So we still got the bike over here and you can't quite see it today like we could yesterday on the dyno, but if you look in here, this tire here is super blistered up. And whenever you got a brand new Shinko hookup, I mean, you still see the extra little grooves that are in here. You generally don't see them very long. So when you got that brand new hookup on there, that thing is sticking to the drum for one, because it's super sticky, and so it's already robbing horsepower in general. And then when they're new like that right there and they start gumming up like that right there, it's actually spinning on the dyno even though it's not spinning the tire. So it's not getting the grip that it should to be able to spin the drum, and it's also super sticky, so it's having to rip itself back up. It's sort of a weird thing, but generally when you got a super new Shinko hookup, you lose some power too. So that may be the reason why you're seeing the torque gains that you normally wouldn't see with that horsepower. So to say we only gained 6.5 horsepower, theoretically we probably end up really making, like I said, closer to 12 to 14 horsepower gains on this bike. But with that tire, it's robbing that horsepower, and you're not actually down on horsepower. It's just the way that the dyno reads whenever it reads that. And then, like I said, looking at the air-fuel ratio, you'll see some dynos, if you watch them on other videos or whatever, there'll be like a smooth, perfect line going across or whatever. And that's all just dependent upon the correction factor or the smoothing factor that every dyno has. Because if you say, if we took a 40 horsepower bike or whatever and make a pull on this thing, or even we've had some bikes up here. We had one night, we had a Kawasaki 125 dirt bike on the dyno, and so essentially it was such a slow and long pull to get it up to peak or to max RPM in 4th or 5th gear, whichever gear it was. It was a long way, so the curve, the horsepower curve, was kind of dipping up and down and moving around and stuff, where generally when you make a fast pull like these bikes right here make, I mean, they're only making a pull for like 6 seconds instead of 20 seconds, so they'll be much smoother there. And that's all in just the smoothing factor of dynos and how they work. So some programs have much more smoothing effects and some have less, and it's all based off of what you're looking for tuning wise or whatever. To me, not having a perfectly smooth graph makes it so we can get a little bit more fine detail in the tuning, because if it's putting and moving stuff around to where it thinks it should be at on an average over a sweep, then you're getting into makes it a little bit harder to make corrections that need to be made. Anyways, bunch of rambling going on. We're gonna get off of here. We're going to get ready to do some more tuning. We got another bike up here on the dyno today. Gonna do some new changes. Yeah, it's back. So anyways, we're going to get this Gen 3 up here on the dyno today, see how much power we can make with it. We got some new products we're testing with it, building a new flash for it. And so if you're looking to get your Gen 3 Hayabusa flashed, be sure to hit us up. We've already got a pump gas tune and an MR12 tune with stock stacks. So now we're going to have a tune for the billet stacks. So we're looking to make that with there, and it'll be on pump gas and MR12 as well. So anyways, appreciate all y'all. Have a good one.